Every year, Architectural Digest releases a list of annual innovators, the top 5 game-changing international design talents. And this year's list is especially exciting as each winner is reimagining the way we live now. Here to tell us about these towering design talents is Architectural Digest features editor Sam Cochran. Welcome, Sam.
Thank you for having me.
Great to see you.
Great to see you.
Tell us a little bit about the process. You must have so many designers to look into to come up with this list.
You know, it's really a team effort. We get ideas from up and down the masthead, and we are looking for, you know, people who are doing groundbreaking, trailblazing work in any number of creative fields: art, architecture, design, people who aren't household names, but who certainly deserve to be.
So they aren't always up-and-comers. Sometimes these are established designers who maybe are going down a new track.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, they really run the gamut from emerging talents to, you know, celebrated, perhaps an architect who, you know, the average person doesn't know.
Exactly. All right, so let's start with number 1 on your list,
Sure.
the German architect who's using robots.
Yes, it's very mysterious. His name is Achim Menges, and he's an experimental German architect. And he, you know, he's really heralding a whole new approach to building using cutting-edge materials like carbon fiber and also robotic construction, as you mentioned, wherein, you know, a robot that is programmed with custom computer software will build something itself.
These are such beautiful organic designs.
Yes, they take their cues from nature. So in some instances, he was inspired by the shell of a sea urchin. In another case, the sort of the wings of a beetle. You know, he really looks to nature to find structurally compelling precedents.
Gorgeous, stunning work. Now then you have a San Francisco landscape architecture firm which is transforming public gardens and parks.
You know, this is Surface Design, which, as you said, is a San Francisco landscape design firm. They're known for finding forlorn sort of urban sites and transforming them into dynamic public spaces, which they did at an airport in New Zealand and at the base of the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco.
Wonderful. So they take public spaces mostly, and
They sort of do both. They do
Right.
private home, private gardens, they do public spaces. What we really love about their work is the way in which they are promoting water conservation. So they're using plants which don't require any irrigation at all. As we know, water is at a premium.
I was going to say, especially in California,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Very important.
These are tricky times.
Very important. Now, you also have this Paris-based interior designer. She has an international past, but now
Yes.
she's based in Paris with a very bold aesthetic.
Yeah, so India Madhavi is a French interior decorator. You know, she's an example of somebody who's really innovating on a kind of an analog aesthetic level. She uses bold forms and a totally unexpected color palette. And her work, you know, she works a lot in hospitality, so the hotels and the restaurants that she creates are always instant hits. You see a hotel in
Gorgeous,
Arles,
yes.
yeah.
And there was I believe, a London restaurant that she told the owners she wanted to bathe the walls in pink.
Bathe the walls in pink. They were a little, I think, apprehensive at first, but I think the results are to speak for themselves.
Absolutely.
They have been an Instagram sensation.
Yes, and she makes very unusual choices that when you see them just seem to work.
They work. You would never think they would work, but they do.
Absolutely. And then you have Studio Drift, which is a Dutch design duo doing fabulous things with lighting.
Yes, so they really fuse nature and technology in light fixtures that kind of straddle the line between art and design. Their best known series, they took the seeds from dandelions, those ethereal halos, and they fitted them with LEDs, but they've also branched out into sort of large-scale kinetic light sculptures that take their cues from movements found in nature.
So beautiful. Those are such beautiful. And do they mostly do installations in big spaces, large spaces?
They private homes, public spaces. One of the pieces you just saw was at the 2015 Venice Biennial. So, you know, they're making waves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you have a Mexican architect, Tatiana Bilbao, correct?
Yeah, so she's a well-known architect, but she's really finding ways to do more with less. She's gotten a lot of attention this past year for a system of low-cost housing that is meant to tackle Mexico's housing shortage. So these are homes that, you know, are very simple, but they can be sort of expanded to fit different families' needs, and they only cost $7,000 each to make.
And they're gorgeous. I want one.
Yes, well, that I should say is not
That was
one.
not, okay.
So that, in addition to those, she also makes incredibly avant-garde, high-end houses.
Right.
The house that you saw with the pool on top is for a very famous artist, Gabriel Orozco.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. But she is known for doing more with less, right? That is part of her aesthetic.
Yeah, I mean, even when you see their very simple geometric forms that she manipulates in sort of very tightly calibrated ways to yield something pretty spectacular.
Well, it's great that she's turning her talents towards sort of the lower end housing. That's great. Wonderful.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, she told us, which I thought was so nice, that architecture really has the power to change people's lives, and how she doesn't take that responsibility lightly.
I think she's absolutely right. That's wonderful. Sam Cochran, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
For coming to see us.